In case it wasn't clear by now, I'm a huge fan of Supermassive games.
What? For real?
Yeah, and especially Until Dawn is so many iconic moments that I look back on ever since its release in 2015, but even its spiritual successor, The Quarry, and the Dark Pictures Anthology games, which I've all played less than a year ago, feature memorable moments that I have not forgotten since, and in my humble opinion, already consider quite iconic. So in today's video, I'm going to be ranking my personal top 10 best moments across all Supermassive games. The 10 moments that I would be considering the best of the best that this incredible franchise has to offer. And trust me, while I didn't have any issues with deciding which moments I want to include in the top 10, I had lots of issues with the order of which I wanted to rank them. But before we start, just a little bit of info. With so many Supermassive video ideas still being on the table for me, it really doesn't matter in what order I do them at this point. This video idea would have probably been cooler to release shortly before the new's title or on some anniversary, rather than at some random Sunday in March, but I feel like I have to increase the pace a little bit. Right now it's unsure if the Dark Pictures Anthology Season 2 will start this year or if we may have to wait till 2024. What I'm trying to say is the video ideas I have right now will all work better before the new game releases, so if I keep pushing them around like I have been for the past 2 months, then we may run into some stress if the game does release later this year. Thing is, it's already stressful working on the scripts for these videos while working on other videos and working a normal job, so to put it short, it would be better if I start to release these videos now around every 2 weeks going forward, and I will try to make it happen, even if it would be quite the task. And trust me, while there will be a point in the future where I won't be able to make this franchise and its games any further, we're so far away from it. So let's not waste any more time. From gruesome deaths to iconic lines to memorable moments, here are my top 10 best moments across all Supermassive games. The moment that had every player scream, flinch, or jump off their seats. Kicking off the list is the moment where everything shifted with Until Dawn, reminding us that this is indeed a horror game. The first 3 chapters focus heavily on Mike and Jessica's relationship, following their way to the cabin in the woods with an obvious wink to the audience. The way to it was already tension-filled, showing us that they were not alone out there with something not normal, and we were just waiting for it to strike. And following Jessica's iconic
"Because Michael and I are gonna fuck. That's right, we are going to have sex, and it's gonna be hot. So enjoy it, because I know we're going to."
it seemed like everything was fine until...
Break.
It was the first shocking moment of the game, beginning the shift from cringy teenager drama to a night full of terror. The way the scene looks, the way you're left with both distress and questions about what that was, it's masterfully crafted and one of the many moments in Until Dawn that make it as memorable and iconic as it is. I think we can all agree that The Devil in Me has its flaws, and that the entire idea behind the jigsaw-inspired traps could have been executed a whole lot better. Looking at you, unfair suffocation chamber. But what we can also agree on is that the incinerator is simply perfect. The music, the atmosphere, the music, the visuals, the music, the tension, the music, the death, the music, the smart way to survive, and oh, have I mentioned the music? Whenever Charlie dies or survives, the entire sequence is art, and one of the highlights of The Devil in Me, and in my opinion, best Tanner Trap sequence within the entire game. It's all up to you, it's all clear, it's just perfectly designed in every sense of the word, one of the best moments within the franchise. From one The Devil in Me highlight to another, while Incinerator was an amazing highlight in the middle of the game, it's the boat finale that I would put even above it. And honestly, it's tricky for me to decide which version of it, so I would probably say both. Whether it's our crew all being able to escape the final breath of the killer and make it off the boat alive, or the Met killing them all in graphic fashion before presumably dying himself, the entire sequence, no matter which way it plays out, is an absolute festival. It's a true epic fun showdown with a great set piece, and either a survival masterclass or a brutal massacre. And the scenes following, where we possibly see our survivors reconciling, the Met rising from the dead and realizing that victims are already on the way, it's a simply brilliant encore to an already great orchestra. A scene that divided players and easily one of the most memorable not just in Until Dawn, but maybe even Let's Play history. Because anyone that watched many people play through this moment know that temptation is often a damn thing. And Emily must survive the chase while also not having a flanker to defend herself from the Wendigo bite to get here. And what follows is a sequence that pressured the idea that many got from that moment and generally anyone thinks of when seeing someone get bitten. Is it infectious? Mike takes a stand and threatens to execute his former girlfriend.
This is the safe room, M!
And on the one hand, this is madness. You can't just kill your own character like this, right? But what if you made a mistake and you could have prevented an infection and this is your only choice to avoid further problems? Whatever you choose, just know that there will be people that did the opposite. Some people shot Emily right then and there, either due to the fear or simply due to the hatred for the character, which in that capacity, I've never seen any other character manage to achieve in future titles. The resulting death is iconic, and it gets even more horrifying when you potentially read later that it was all for nothing. Yet, if you decide to spare Emily and then also decide to read through the information in the book, then, well, you're presented with the most iconic line maybe in the entire franchise, which alone earns the scene a moment in this ranking.
Please, just try to understand. Understand the palm of my hand, bitch.
The third and final inclusion of The Devil in Me, yet another more than well-earned one. While the boat showdown is one of the franchise's best finales, the game has an even better one to offer, and that is the ultimatum. Where 3 of the characters dead and only the former lovebirds remaining, the Met captures Kate and Mark and gives you an ultimatum. Help lure the next victims to continue the cycle or die a painful death. Similar case as to previous entries, either way the sequence plays out, it's worthy of a spot on this list. You agree to continuing the cycle, showing the player how this twisted game has been played and will continue to be played, while also serving us at the end, and despite playing the game by the rules, death still awaits. Or you refuse to cooperate and see one of the most brutal deaths in the entire franchise before realizing that your brave sacrifice ultimately didn't matter, and the next victims are already on their way. It's a terrorizing ending that shows that too many wrong choices will lead to a finale that won't see the ending no matter what you do. As mentioned, The Devil in Me has its flaws, but the 3 included moments on this list are some of the franchise's best. The only entry of the Quarry on this list, but one that we can all agree deserves a spot in the top 5. The Quarry has its flaws, wasted potential even, yet the game still has its great and memorable moments and even one of the franchise's best characters. So it's to no one's surprise that said character, alongside another personal favorite, make for one of the most badass sequences in the entire franchise. Dylan and Kaitlyn at the scrapyard, no matter who played it, you can bet that they loved it. The set piece, the music, the action itself, the way we can smash a damn car into a damn werewolf, it's a completely overblown entertainment machine of a section, and no matter how it ends, it remains that. Either Dylan dies brutally or manages to save himself and Kaitlyn, followed by a cool one-liner. And even if infected, Dylan in his last moments of consciousness, saving Kaitlyn, telling her to run away, is pure cinema on every level. The 100% best moment in the Quarry, and one of the greatest in Supermassive Games history. We already ranked the iconic moment that can follow, so let's talk about this iconic moment itself. And that is the best chase sequence in the entire franchise. The reveal of one of video game's greatest monsters, a scene that struck fear and terror into the hearts of every single player. After building up the mystery and showing glimpses for 7 chapters long, it's at the beginning of chapter 8 where the game finalizes its twist. The villain is not Josh, but the Wendigo chases Emily. The mines. It's a moment that left everyone in terror. This isn't just another teen slasher, but a true horrific nightmare. Emily proves that she isn't just a bitch, but a badass survival specialist, as she barely makes it her way through the mines while being chased by the terrifying Wendigo, now revealed in all its glory with all its features that make it so iconic. Whenever Emily fails and we see the Wendigo in full frame claim a victim, or Emily manages to make it all the way to the end, it's an iconic, memorable, and downright perfect sequence, more than rightfully claims its spots in the top 5 and one of the greatest moments in Supermassive Games.
You've come to join the fun.
It took a while for House of Ashes to appear on this list, but oh boy is it emerging in full force. I don't think I need to explain anymore why Jason and Salim are the franchise's best duo. I've done so many times in the past, but I will describe yet again how absolutely iconic, memorable, and downright badass this scene truly is. Salim is left by himself fending off the vampires, and with the theme of not being supposed to save someone that isn't your own throughout the game, it's a simply chilling moment when Jason, who lived by those words especially, decides that Salim now is one of them, despite where he comes from, and goes back into hell to save his brother. That moment alone is worth an entry alone, but what follows is an absolutely incredible sequence where Salim once again solidifies himself as the king as he launches a spear straight through the vampire's heart, followed by one of the favorite lines in the franchise's history. Please don't! You fucking god, Salim! The microphone was in the way. I literally saw it too late.
Seriously, just throw that thing at me.
I did.
It's the moment that truly solidifies the status not just of these two characters, but of this entire game. It is a hugely deserving third place on this list. Now before I get to the final two, I already want to include some honorable mentions, and because I could be including like 10 more moments from Until Dawn, let's focus on the other games.
Hey, look!
Survive the assault? Oh boy, fucking focus. Dar, you seeing this shit now, huh? Goddamn, you look sick, though. Wait! Oh my no! Get off! You have still time, please do it! Now before we get to the top 2, I need to explain something. 2 months ago I made a video in which I ranked the top 5 best endings in Supermassive games, and the top 2 places, the first and second place in that video, are now once again the first and second place in this ranking, but reversed. Which may raise the question, why is it in that order there and not the same order here? And that is actually quite simple to explain, because the moment that ranked number 1 in that previous video was, in my opinion, the best ending, while the moment that will rank number 1 on this video is, in my opinion, the best moment. I see a difference between these two things. What I'm trying to say is the second and third place in this video are both endings to a game, and I would 100% consider this second place in today's video a better ending than today's first place, yet I would still consider today's first place the overall better moment than today's second place. I think it makes sense, right? One simply makes for the better and more satisfying ending, while the other makes for a simply more iconic and memorable moment. I think you understand, so let's get to them. I have stated several times how downright incredible this ending is, but I will gladly do it again. After it seems like our characters escaped hell, hell emerges onto them as the sun eclipses and the vampires rise. What follows is the best combat sequence in the entire franchise, as all of our characters take a final stand versus the demons. The tension, the combat itself, and the moment you manage to survive as the sun returns, it's pure cinema. And if you make the right choices beforehand, it gets even better. A new one brother, but most importantly a father, Salim wanders off into the horizon as he's finally able to return home before our heroes are rescued moments later. It's a perfect ending to an incredible game, the in my opinion second best moment in Supermassive Games history. But we all know that there can only be one best moment, and we all know which one that is.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
I was just joking. Or was I? Yeah, I was. Let's get to the actual number 1, which we all know. There is simply no moment in nearly 10 years within Supermassive Games that has been able to overcome this moment. The finale of Until Dawn giving us one of the most tension-filled sequences I've seen in any video game, Sam having to stand still as Hannah is on the hunt for the final time. I could spend several more minutes going into detail as to how brilliantly executed this entire sequence is, but I'm sure I would just be repeating the thoughts within your head. So let's instead focus on what follows, because not only was the entire launch finale resulting in an explosion Hannah finally getting to rest iconic in itself, but so is the following police interview of the survivors that made it until dawn. Affected by our choices, also to this day an untouchable credit sequence that then also gets followed by potentially the best final imagery before the camera turns black, Josh stepping into his sister's footsteps. The finale of Until Dawn, the 100% best moments in Supermassive Games history. At least in my opinion. How does yours look like? What is your ranking? Do you agree with my list? How many similar rankings do we have? Would you make it entirely different? Tell me all about it down below in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content, and look forward to more Supermassive Games related videos, just like a lot of other things. Thank you guys for watching, and see you soon.